Have you ever started a prayer routine, stayed consistent for a few days, and then slowly drifted away from it? You didn't stop believing. You didn't stop caring. But somehow, the consistency just faded. One missed day turned into two, two turned into a week, and before long, prayer started to feel distant, like something you should do, but can't seem to stay committed to. If that's you, you're not alone. This is one of the most common struggles in the Christian life. Today, I'm going to show you 6 secrets to consistent prayer, even when you don't feel like it, even when life gets busy, and even when it feels like nothing is happening. By the end of this message, you'll know exactly what's been breaking your consistency and how to fix it. Secret 1. Stop waiting for the perfect mood. One of the biggest reasons prayer becomes inconsistent is because people tie it to how they feel. They think, I'll pray when I feel more focused, more spiritual, more ready. But the truth is, that perfect moment rarely comes. Feelings are unpredictable. Some days you'll feel motivated. Other days, you won't. If your prayer life depends on emotion, it will always rise and fall. Consistency begins when prayer becomes a decision, not a feeling. You pray because it matters, not because you feel inspired. There will be days when your mind is scattered, days when you feel tired, days when your heart doesn't feel fully in it. Pray anyway, because discipline builds what emotions cannot sustain. You don't need the perfect mood to approach God. You just need a willing heart. And often, it's in those imperfect, unmotivated moments that your faith grows the most. Secret 2. Make it simple, not complicated. Another reason people struggle with consistency is because they've made prayer feel complicated. They think they need long, structured, powerful words every time they pray. So when they don't have the energy or clarity for that, they avoid prayer altogether. But prayer was never meant to be complicated. It's not a performance. It's a conversation. You don't have to impress God. You don't need perfect wording. You don't need to sound spiritual. Talk to Him honestly. Talk to Him simply. Talk to Him like someone who already knows you, because He does. Some days your prayer might be just a few sentences. Other days it might be longer. Both are valid. What matters is not how impressive your words are, but how real they are. When you remove the pressure to do it right, prayer becomes something you can return to every day, without fear, without hesitation. Secret 3. Attach prayer to your routine. If prayer is something you try to fit in whenever you remember, it will almost always get pushed aside. Life is busy, your mind is full, and without structure, even the things that matter most can be forgotten. That's why consistency isn't built on intention, it's built on routine. Find moments in your day that already exist and attach prayer to them. When you wake up, pray. Before you sleep, pray. While you're walking, driving, or doing something repetitive, pray. These moments don't require extra time. They just require awareness. When prayer becomes part of your daily rhythm, it stops feeling like something you have to force and starts becoming something natural. Small, consistent moments with God are more powerful than occasional, long prayers. Consistency grows when prayer becomes part of your life, not separate from it. Secret 4. Pray, even when it feels dry. This is where many people quit. There will be seasons where prayer feels powerful, and seasons where it feels empty. No emotion, no clarity, no sense of connection. And in those moments, it's easy to think, what's the point? But dryness is not a sign that something is wrong. It's a normal part of spiritual growth. In fact, some of the deepest growth happens in seasons where you feel the least. Because in those moments, your prayer is no longer driven by emotion. It's driven by faith. You're not praying because it feels good. You're praying because you believe it matters. Keep showing up, even when it feels quiet. Because just because you don't feel anything doesn't mean nothing is happening. God is still listening. God is still working. And something is still being built inside you: strength, endurance, and deeper trust. Faithfulness in dry seasons leads to deeper connection in the future. Secret 5. Remove distractions intentionally. We live in a world full of distractions: notifications, messages, noise, constant stimulation. It's all competing for your attention. And if you're not intentional, those distractions will slowly take over your prayer time. You might sit down to pray, but your mind drifts, or your phone pulls you away, or something else feels more urgent. Consistency doesn't just happen. You have to protect it. Create space for prayer. Put your phone away, even if it's just for a few minutes. Find a quiet corner. Step away from the noise. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be intentional. Because what you give your attention to consistently will shape your life. If you give your attention to distractions, your focus weakens. But if you protect your time with God, your connection grows stronger. Consistency becomes easier when your environment supports it. Secret 6. Focus on relationship, not results. Many people struggle with consistency because they don't see immediate answers. They pray for something, and when nothing seems to change, they lose motivation. Over time, prayer starts to feel pointless. But that's because prayer was never meant to be just about results. It's about relationship. If the only reason you pray is to get something, then when the answer is delayed, your consistency will disappear. But when prayer becomes about being with God, knowing Him, walking with Him, staying connected, everything changes. You're no longer measuring prayer by outcomes. You're valuing it for connection. And that's what sustains consistency. Because even when answers take time, the relationship is still there. And the more you focus on that relationship, the more natural it becomes to return to prayer, again and again. Now that you've seen what builds a consistent prayer life, let's quickly bring it all together so you can carry these truths with you moving forward. You don't need the perfect mood, just the decision to show up. Prayer doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to be real. Attaching prayer to your routine builds lasting consistency. Dry seasons don't mean failure. They're part of your growth. Distractions will take over unless you intentionally guard your time. And when you focus on relationship instead of results, prayer becomes something you want, not something you avoid. Consistency in prayer isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about showing up again and again, even when it's hard. Because every moment you spend in prayer is building something deeper than you can see. If this message spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who's been struggling to stay consistent in prayer. And in the comments, write, "I will stay consistent." Let that be more than words. Let it be your commitment moving forward. Remember this: even when your prayers feel weak, they are still heard. Even when you feel distant, God is still near. Draw near to God, and He will draw near to you. You're not falling behind. You're being invited deeper. So keep showing up, keep praying, and trust that every moment matters.